That foundation on your counter right now. The one you pat on every morning, hoping it won't settle into your lines, hoping it won't crumble by lunch. But there is a very good chance it is making your skin look older than you are. Foundation for dry, mature skin is one of the most misleading categories in cosmetics. Not a little misleading, systematically misleading. Brands spend millions testing which words make women over 50 buy, and almost nothing testing whether the formula actually works. 10 foundations. 30 years doing makeup in Seoul and Los Angeles. 6 were disasters by hour 3. 3 held up. 1 did something I have never seen a drugstore product do. Let's start with the one that made me the angriest. I am giving Estée Lauder Double Wear a -1 out of 10, and I do not feel bad about it. Every client over 50 who sits down in my salon chair asks for this foundation by name. Most requested product from women with dry, mature skin, and it was the worst one I tested. It grabs onto every flake, every dry spot, every bit of texture on your face, and turns it into a canyon you can spot from across the room. I had a client in my chair last Tuesday, 62 years old, beautiful skin, walked in looking radiant. I applied the Double Wear exactly the way she wanted. By 8 that evening, her face looked cracked and exhausted. This foundation aged a beautiful woman 15 years in a single day. She walked in glowing and left looking like she had not slept in a week. I wanted to throw the bottle across my salon floor. If you have dry, mature skin and you are reaching for this every morning, please listen to me. It is not your skin that is failing you. It is the formula. Now let me show you what a good foundation actually does on dry, mature skin, because after that disaster, you deserve to see this. Bobbi Brown Skin Long-Wear gets an 8.5 out of 10, and it earns every single point. This goes on smooth and comfortable like a second skin. It sits beautifully over dry patches without clinging to any of them. And 8 hours later, when my client came back to the salon, her face still looked hydrated and polished and alive. Not a flake around her nose, not a crack along her smile lines, and nothing emphasized that she would rather keep between her and the mirror. This foundation treats dry, mature skin the way it deserves to be treated. Like a good friend showing up with something kind to say, not an enemy pointing out every flaw under fluorescent lighting. If you got burned by the Double Wear and need something safe, Bobbi Brown is a solid place to start over. Though I will say there is one foundation later on this list that made even this one look average. Right back down we go. CoverGirl. Simply Ageless gets a 2 out of 10, and I wish I could be kinder about this. So many of my American clients bring it to sessions at my studio, and every time I have to gently take it away from them. On dry, mature skin, this sits on top of your face like wet clay and refuses to sink in. It fills every crease with product, and by noon, your skin is crumbling. In Korean beauty, we have a simple rule. If a product does not melt into your skin, it does not belong on your skin. This does not melt. It parks itself on the surface and punishes you for having dry skin over 50. The drugstore price tag makes it tempting. The formula makes it a trap. But this next one hurts me to say because I love this brand. Rihanna, I say this with all the love in my heart. 3 out of 10. That shade range changed the entire beauty industry, and she deserves every flower for what she did for women of color. But on dry, mature skin, this formula is brutal. It dries matte within seconds of touching your face, and suddenly every dry spot is lit up like a neon sign on the Las Vegas Strip. Fine lines turn into trenches. Texture gets amplified 100 times over. I keep this locked in a drawer at the studio when my mature clients come in for their appointments. Beautiful brand with a beautiful mission. Wrong formula for us. If you are 30 with oily skin, this is probably your holy grail. If you are 60 with dry cheeks, keep walking past the Fenty counter. And just so you know the winner is not the only good option, let me show you what happens when a luxury brand actually gets it right. Armani Luminous Silk gets a 9 out of 10. This goes on like water across your face, melts into your skin like it was custom blended at my mixing station just for you. And it gives you this luminous finish that makes dehydrated mature skin look plump and bouncy and alive. Not a single flake showing through after a full day under the harshest salon lights in the world. I put this on a client with the driest cheeks I have seen in years, and by 5 in the afternoon, she still looked fresh and glowing. Yes, it cost $70 at the department store beauty counter. But this is one of the very few luxury foundations that earns that price on dry, mature skin. And even at 9 out of 10, something later on this list still surprised me more. Now we hit the lowest point of this entire list. Clinique Even Better gets a 1.5 out of 10, and that half point is generous. Every American woman over a certain age trusts this brand, and on dry, mature skin, that trust shatters the moment you start blending. It goes on chalky and flat, magnetizes itself to every dry patch on your face, and makes your entire complexion look gray and washed out and lifeless under the bathroom mirror. I put this on a client last month, and she stared at her reflection in my salon chair and said, "Why do I look dead?" I did not have an answer for her. I just reached across the counter for a makeup wipe and started over. If your Clinique counter rep told you this was designed for mature skin, she handed you the wrong bottle. And this right here is why I kept going after all those disasters. Luxe Color Changing Foundation gets an 11 out of 10, and in 30 years behind the chair, I have never given a score like that. I am going to be honest with you. I almost skipped this one. I had never heard of it before a colleague in Seoul sent it to me and told me to stop being stubborn and just try it. So I put it on a client with some of the driest skin I have seen in months, and then I waited for it to fail like everything else on this list. It did not fail. It melted into her skin like a serum, not like a foundation. And I kept checking on her throughout the day because I did not trust it. An hour, still beautiful. 3 hours, still hydrated. By evening, her face looked better than it did that morning after her full skincare routine. That is not supposed to happen. I do not know how to explain it, but I watched it happen in my own chair. And then the color. I have spent 15 years custom mixing shades at my station for every individual client who sits down. I watched this foundation read her skin tone and adjust itself right there on her jawline. 15 years of mixing, and this little bottle just figured it out on its own. I sat there staring at her face, not really understanding what I was looking at. My clients with the driest postmenopausal skin put this on, and within minutes, they have that glass skin glow that Korean women spend 10 careful steps every morning trying to build. I found it cheaper on Amazon than in the stores, so I am going to leave a link in the description below. And I am pulling you right back down because this needs to be said. MAC Studio Fix gets a 2.5 out of 10, and that matte finish on dry, mature skin is a crime. It drinks up every last drop of moisture your skincare routine gave you that morning and leaves your face flat and dull and chalky in the mirror. In Korea, we build hydration for 30 minutes every morning. We layer toners and essences and lightweight serums to give our skin a cushion of moisture before makeup even touches our face. MAC Studio Fix erases all of that work in 30 seconds. Your dry, thirsty skin deserves a long drink of water, and this foundation is handing it a napkin. And I know this next one is going to sting because every woman over 50 in America has been told at some point to go buy this. IT Cosmetics CC Cream gets a 3 out of 10. In Korean beauty, we would never put something this heavy on dry, aging skin. It sits on top of your face like a thick blanket, grabs onto every bit of texture you have, and by the afternoon, my client's complexion in the salon mirror looked like her skin was shedding. The marketing team did a beautiful job selling this to you. The formula team let you down. Those are two very different things, and you deserve to know it. If this is helping you sort out which foundations to keep and which ones to throw away, subscribe. I test products on real dry, mature skin every week so you never waste another dollar on something that works against your face. And I am sending you home with good news because you earned it after that entire roller coaster. Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Flawless gets an 8 out of 10. This goes on smooth over dry, mature skin, gives you a gorgeous soft focus finish, and plays nicely with your dry patches without clinging or flaking or settling into a single line. Your face looks blurred and polished and comfortable from morning until you take everything off at night. Just do not pile on too many layers and your dry, mature skin will thank you. Out of 10 foundations, only 4 worked on dry, mature skin. You know who the clear winner is. You know which 3 are safe enough to trust when you want an alternative. And now you know exactly which 6 to pull out of your makeup bag and never look back. Stop letting foundations punish your dry skin, ladies. It has been through enough. Subscribe, and I will see you next week with the skincare routine your over 50 skin has been waiting for.